looky, I have a green light. He says you may turn. I may turn. So I did. And up here we have the turn left traffic light. Can he do it? I don't think so. Oh, goodness. This is kind of confusing. Am I turning right or am I going straight ahead? And there's a dippity-doo right there. We're just going to skirt it. Here's another one. We're going to skirt it. This is one of my more usual rides. We're going to a little town named New Harmony. By the way, this is not the neighborhood where I live. This is too upper class for me. I don't think they let white trash settle there. This is a cute little ride for several reasons that we'll talk about as we go along. And I'm talking to you like I'm William Shatner. You know, the dramatic pause after every 2 or 3 words. God, could you imagine Shakespeare that way? 8 hours later, you get to Act 2. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Oh, ye gods. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? I'm down here in the bushes, bud. What you want? Hey, I saw Horsey. Morning, Horsey. Poor thing needs a wash and blow dry and trim. Bump. Watch for Bandy. of the reasons why I like this ride. Well, some of the scenery's okay. Some of the houses are nice. And not typical for Indiana, there are actual hills here. I mean, there's some up and down, more than, like 3 feet. And there are curves. Now, I'm not going to say Indiana is as flat as Kansas. Good Lord, no. There are places here where the land does rise up a little bit. But for the most part, especially as you get towards Indianapolis, it gets flatter and flatter. And because it's flat, the streets, the roads, and the highways are, well, straight and level. I mean, it's ideal for cruisers, baggers, dressers, and butt jewelry. But I'm sorry, when you're riding a super sport, a sport naked, or a hyper sport naked, I wouldn't mind riding a hyper naked sport. Well, too old for that silliness anymore. Riding straight and flat on a bike that's meant for going sideways, it's just not so much fun. And that's one of the reasons why I like riding bikes. Is the banking. The leaning it over into something. Like this here. See this here nice. And over here. Here comes another one. Look out. Ooh, he's so hot. And I'm going a little bit too fast for this anyway, because all of these little intersections here with people will actually back out of their drives onto this street, road, whatever the hell it is. That has done it to me. Glory, hallelujah. Honestly, I'm just not quite ready to shuffle off this mortal coil quite yet. This is a left turn here. Kick it down a gear and keep an eye ahead. Scanning left, right, and center because it says hidden driveway, yeah, hidden driveway. All over the damn place. Came around this part one day. I'm slowing down because I saw a herd of wild turkeys going right across here. But I dumped that video because there was no sound. I shouldn't have, but I did. Alright, look left, look right, look left, look right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. Uh-oh, it's a windmill. I'm going to get cancer. Yippee-ki-yay. And yes, in 2 weeks' time, farms around here go from this on the right. See all of that dead corn? They strip the land down, all the way down to where it's nothing but clay. I know I've remarked on that before. I'm sure I have. Just... it's nonsensical. See, this kind of stuff I like. All leaned over and stuff. And there's the soybeans. Nice little landscape. Stop sign. Second gear. First gear. Pots. Ah, there is actually traffic here for once. Corn has no flavor at all. And ta-da! Fall is almost here. Some of the trees have leaves that are changing color. What I may not have mentioned before, and if I did, you can just skip the next minute of bitching, whining, moaning, and trying to tell other people how to do what they're doing. The people around here get their seed. Whoops, gravel. They get their seed from manufacturers. Where it has been modified and simulated and stimulated and extrapolated. Nothing you could call organic. So when the season's over and the harvest is done, those big rigs come through and strip everything down to the ground. Birdies, doves. Grew up eating dove. Not bad. Does not taste like chicken. So, ConAgra or 3M or some other company owns the seed. So they reclaim everything at the end of the harvest. Everything's stripped down. And I am not really sure what happens to the stalks and the remainders. I have heard and read several different things. See how just barren that is? Some sources will tell you that they gather up all those stalks and stuff and they burn it. Others that it's all gets crushed up into a fine powder and is sold to doves, quails, silly little things. Anyway, crushed into a powder and sold to the people who use sawdust to make things like, you know, the compressed wood fiber stuff that they make furniture out of these days. I read that they sell it to people who make paper. And other sources say that the ground up remainders get plowed into the land that the manufacturers use to grow their seed crop. So I really don't know. I would kind of like to know. It's not a big hairy deal. God, look, there's a tree. And yes, apparently there is some oil around here. Is this what I think it is? Yes, it is. The farmhouse, just in case you didn't know. Now the dealie-do with these crops, there's another tree. Is that each generation of the seed manufacturer places a genetic marker in it that is unique to that seed and that generation of seed, so that whoever the manufacturer is can come around to these farms anytime they want to and take sample tissue from the fields, take it to a lab and check and make sure that this farmer is indeed using their seed. We have a stop sign here. We have to turn left. And the obverse of that, cows. Yep. They can go to just, they think, they have the right to go into anybody's field and take samples and check to see if that farmer happens to be illegally using their seed. Using their seed without permission. Rather, it's not really illegal. It's kind of contracting. At any rate, if they find that a farmer is using their seed, but there is no record of that farmer having bought said seed, corporation will threaten that farmer with lawsuits and all sorts of other stuff unless the farmer reduces his field's ash. There have been lots of cases dealing with that. And the problem here is that, well, it's the problem of genetic drift in a way. Sometimes those genetic markers will wander because bees and butterflies and such, when flitting around during flowering season, will take pollen from an engineered plant, go somewhere else, pollinate some plant that has not been engineered, and the seed from that plant will have that genetic marker. Boom. So there are farmers who have been wrongfully sued. The manufacturer claims, oh my God, fresh asphalt. Oh, what a dip. The problem here in all of that well, how do I put this? Okay, corn. Is a heavily selected plant, modified by humans generation after generation to get an edible product out of the seed, or corns, whatever the actual corn thing is, the stuff that you eat. The originator the ancestor plant looks pretty much like grass. And geneticists botanist geneticists have found descendants of the progenitor species, the original ancient 8 million year ago plant, in isolated locations in South America. Which is fascinating enough in itself that humanity took something that looked like grass that was inedible and over a few thousand years turned it into corn that you can eat. But these same geneticists in the same area have found that, lo and behold, some of those genetic markers that we talked about are turning up thousands of miles away in ancient, or is popularly called heritage, seed stock. Way the hell out of nowhere. This is the less interesting part of the ride, but I like seeing the shadow. Fourth gear. See, we do have hills around. Although, in my peregrinations around these parts, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, there are some places that you might think are hills, but they are so singular against the flat land that I think they're actual Indian mounds. A little school here. During the week, 2-3 times a week, 2-3 times a day, excuse me. During the week, 2 or 3 times a day, there will be county mounties parked there. Sometimes 2 or 3 county mounties. Pointing each both different way. Oh, here's an old-timer. An old-timer driven by an old-timer. That's cool. Here's a wax job there. Yep. There There it is, one of those gatherer-uppers of the remainders. You can see how he has done his job. And it's continuing at some point. Somebody will be out here in about 45 minutes. Crank that puppy up. Reduce that field to reduce it down ground level. Fair play. That bears repeating. You know, it's interesting to compare something from our pasts. Up here, you'll see this is almost nothing. The hardwood, deciduous trees, mostly oak, many different varieties of oak. Very few conifers. Swim. But if you go back down to where you and I came from, it's the opposite. Almost all pine trees. A few hardwood, usually live oak. Up, bent over, aged. I love live oak. Just between me, I love live oak. These are nice. I mean, oak trees are okay, but they just go straight up. Which I guess is good for timber, housing, boat construction and such. Well, it really is starting to be fall. Grass is starting to die. Well, except for these years like that. The buttons are dying. Leaves are turning. We are turning left as the road begins. This is really cool. That's an awful faster. But I'm already well in excess of speeding. You know, I have been looking for something on these rides and about talking to you about all this stuff and whatever comes along. Amarillo, how about that? It'd be nice if I had a second camera that I could put like on a little carousel so that it turns slowly. You can see not just what's up front. So I can only look so far to the side because my neck doesn't control that well anymore. But you know, so it would turn around like full 306 degrees in 1 hour. So you can really see what I can see when I see what I saw. See? What I see and saw. Here's that shadow again. And my shadow. Walking down the avenue. And now we get to the prettier part of this little ride. You get it twice. Shadow, blinker, shift, New Harmony, 2 miles. For some reason, I look at the soy oat beans over here, and I keep expecting turkeys and guinea hens. Cough button. I've seen dove and I've seen quail, and that brings back one of the spit you sneeze. We're going to hit the cough button right here. Excuse me. Isn't this nice? Isn't it funny? Expectations from stuff learned 60 years ago. This is a cute little town. Established during the Utopian period in the 19th century, when, you know, lots of little utopian societies built little utopian towns like Amana. So as you go through the town, you can see still some of the little houses that were built in the 19th century, late 19th century. And you see some early 20th century junk. Well, I was looking for a place to stop and take care of the cameras and stuff. So I'm just going to stop right here. There we go. The kick-up stand is down. So we're secure. I'm in neutral.